It's no secret that conserving energy can save your business money. But that's not the only benefit. Using the right energy-efficient equipment can also have some other surprising advantages. And Georgia Power's Commercial Energy Efficiency Program can help show you how. Like how improvements to your heating and cooling system can lead to a more comfortable work environment. Or LED lighting can make your store more inviting to customers. Just a few ways to take charge of your energy. Learn about programs and rebates today at georgiapower.com/commercial savings.
Needs anything.
Blog Talk Radio. Hello, and welcome to Shedding the Bitch Radio, where you can discuss, debate, and get advice on how to discover and shed the bitches of fear, insecurity, self-doubt, and negative mindsets so you can realize your dreams and life purpose and create and accelerate the riches you want in life. Join us here live every Tuesday at noon Eastern and dialogue with us at 818-572-2910. You can also chat with us at Blog Talk Radio /SheddingTheBitch or share your stories on our website at sheddingthebitch.com. Whatever the bitch is that's holding you back from living your life to the fullest, it's not worth giving up the riches in life that you deserve. So call in now and let Bernadette Boas know what's holding you back. 818-572-2910.
Good day, everyone. And it's not spring yet. I think that's tomorrow, maybe. And I'm feeling it, but we'll talk about that in a second. I hope you all are well on this beautiful, beautiful day, and whichever time you might be in and listening to the program. And maybe at some point you're actually going to download us, so you might not be live with us. But we are certainly thrilled to have you with us. I do want to start off hacking. That's what I want to do. I want to start off hacking. I probably should actually get to that and mention that first. Please forgive me if I do. Spring has definitely bloomed here in Atlanta, Georgia, last Friday. Excuse me. And I am feeling it. All of a sudden, not all the flowers, but the flowers started spraying their pollen, covering our houses and our cars and my lungs. So forgive me for the hacking. I'll do the best I can to keep it back and not have it interrupt our conversation today. But I'm not going to complain about the beautiful, beautiful colors that are making up my backyard finally, because as many of you know, I'm red-green colorblind. So the world in a lot of cases looks very bland, very either green or just brown, or maybe the green is brown, brown is green. I have no idea. Although I did just buy myself some color blindness corrective glasses, and that's a story in itself. I'll go into another day. But so maybe I'll actually get to experience all the variety of colors that are out there, though I certainly can see individual ones. So like I can see white flowers and blue flowers and yellow flowers. The problem is when they come together. Anyway, but spring has sprung, and my nose and head and chest are full. And I do have this even deeper voice and eventual or occasional hack, so I'll apologize for that. I was going to say I definitely want to send out prayers and compassion, and hope our Shedding the Bitch community will join in and to do the same for those in the Christchurch mosque shootings in New Zealand. We have to come together as a people and recognize that regardless of where we are on the globe, and what cultures and races and religions and genders we are all just human people. And I'll pray for those also suffering with mental illness, which, anyone with hate and anger and bigotry, all, you might as well just say that they all have some degree of mental disorder, because it all comes down to that. It all comes down to our mental state. So I'll pray for those and this individual as well. But prayers and compassion goes out to to everyone that is dealing with that. And I do feel that I'm missing another event that might have happened over the last couple of days, and I've been absolutely slammed, so I haven't really caught up with the news, but I thought something else was going on as well elsewhere. Just know that everybody here in the Shedding the Bitch community and me personally just feel your pain and just want to send out love and prayers and angels your way. That brings me to also Lent for another note. But for those of you Christians who might be celebrating Lent, that started a couple of weeks ago. I had mentioned last week on the program that with Lent, I was giving up things like, it's supposed to be serious. It's supposed to be like very reflective, very spiritual. For me, especially this year, I just wanted to kind of get some of my bad habits under control. And so those things were things like Diet Coke, those like beer, not the fact that I was drinking it too much, just from, the effect that it has on my diet and my Weight Watchers and everything that I've been doing, but also cursing and Benadryl. So the cursing comes from all my pickleball play. I am competitive, but more so with myself than anything, and I get very, irritated at myself, and my mouth will fly, let me tell you. And Benadryl, being that, I will get, I won't say addicted in any way, shape, or form, but I will get dependent on it when I am running ragged and I need some sleep at night, so I'll pop one of those little Benadryls. But I thought to myself, no, I need to really kind of, I need to kind of get those out of my system for sure. So I was leveraging Lent to do that, because Lent, and this is one of the two reasons why I'm bringing this up, many of you asked me about an update, but then also you asked me, why is Lent so important to so many people? Well, Lent, from a spiritual and religious perspective, I won't preach to anybody about that. Everyone has their own personal reasons why that's important to them, and recognizing the sacrifice that Jesus has made, and kind of whatever your denomination of belief is, that's totally up to you, and I'll just leave that to you. For me, it is a period of recognizing sacrifice, so at the same time, for everyone, I think it's just another really good opportunity to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I faltered on my New Year's resolutions or the goals that I've set. It's the beginning of second quarter coming up with April 1st. So, it's a good time to just say, I'm going to hit that reset button. Whatever the reasons are for you, it is an opportunity for you to say, okay, so, what bad habits do I want to give up? Then the second reason why I'm bringing this up is because people have asked me. They heard me have this discussion on the program last week, and then out in life, we've been talking about kind of how our Lenten sacrifices are going and our kind of disciplines. Some of us have faltered, some of us have not. For me, like I said, the cursing certainly has. Benadryl did, and only because of the fact that the minute I started getting these allergies, I had to start popping something. And I do have high blood pressure, so there's a lot of things I cannot take. And Benadryl I can, and Allegra or Claritin I can. Everything else is off the table. The Diet Coke and the beer, though, I have to say, I'm going strong. For those of you who wanted to know, I think the Diet Coke is going to be easy. I found some other kind of tea mixes and whatnot that I could be drinking. I think that'll be fine. The beer, when it comes to St. Paddy's Day, so happy St. Paddy's Day past to all you Irish men and women. I did kind of go without green beer this year. And you know what? I lived to see another day. And it will be nice, kind of with Lent ending about 5 days before I go on my yearly annual beach trip with my sisters, right on time to be able to then appreciate my Lenten experience and then celebrate with my sisters. So for those of you who've been asking how I'm doing in those areas, and for those of you who have more profound spiritual type of Lenten sacrifices, I'm here cheering you on. And I hope your experiences are going well. Whatever. Okay, so let's see. Past episodes, if you've missed our program, shame on you. Shame on you. No, I'm kidding. You can always go to sheddingthebitch.com. Scroll down. You'll see our Shedding the Bitch radio button. You can go in there, and there's all of our episodes from the last number of years. But the last few that we've had a number of them. We've talked about whether or not can a bitch change. Can a zebra change its stripes? Can a cougar change its spots? But can we change? So that was a lively conversation last week. You might want to check that one out because we're always questioning that. And today's conversation around regret actually is a good lead-in, or actually not a lead-in. That episode around can a person change is a good lead-in to this conversation today. Then we also discussed mentors, coaches, and sponsors, whether or not they are of value to you in your career, business, or life, and what the differences are between them. Excuse me. And what the differences are between them. That is a question I'm often asked as an executive coach and personal coach. I'm asked that quite often. And it's not just a corporate thing, by the way. Entrepreneurs, stay-at-homes, you all can definitely leverage mentors, coaches, and sponsors in your lives. I was actually discussing it, I apologize, with someone the other day. I happen to use the term that my sponsor, because I do have a sponsor when it comes to my coaching, it's someone that looks out for other referrals or recommendations for me. And she's a head of a conglomerate of multiple divisions of her company, and I've been blessed with her being my sponsor and regularly, calling me up and going, hey, do you want an opportunity to help someone else? And I'm here for her. So mentors, coaches, and sponsors. And then we also had a conversation about shedding the stuck bitch. So if you are ever feeling stuck and you just need some tips and advice as to how to get unstuck. But today we are discussing regrets. Why do we hold on to them? What is the power they have on us? What is the impact negatively and positively to regrets? And how can we manage and shed them? So that will be our discussion for today. Your right question, and for those of you listening for the first time, we pose a question to you that will ground you in the conversation that we're going to have. So you can actually kind of really consider an aspect of your life based on the subject we're talking about. And in today's subject about regrets, it's going to be simply what are those 1 to 3 regrets that you're holding on to. And you may have a lot more, you may have 1, you may have 0, but think of it. And if you are in a position where you can actually write it down, because we always talk about, and I truly believe that getting it out of your head and onto a piece of paper in black and white takes a lot of the power things have on you, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, mentally, financially, whatever the situation, experience, or event you might be dealing with, getting it out of your head and putting it clearly on a piece of paper, I truly believe takes a lot of the power that it has on you out of the game. So what are your 1 to 3 regrets? If you want to hashtag or tweet and Facebook with us, you can use rich tags regret, forgive. That's going to be a key element we're going to talk about. And, of course, always use hashtag shed the bitch. All right, so that will be our conversation. I'm going to get something to drink, and we'll take a quick break. And when we get back, we'll dive into this conversation. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Boas. We are inspiring individuals around the globe to discover, confront, and shed their bitches of fear, insecurity, and negativity so they can create the riches in their career, business, and life they deserve. Be sure to check out Bernadette's book, Shedding the Corporate Bitch, Shifting from Bitch to Rich in Life and Business, available on Amazon and sheddingthebitch.com. We also want to thank our sponsors, North Georgia Tax Solutions, who offers a broad range of tax services for small to corporate-sized clients. Go to ngtaxsolutions.com to learn more. And Parker House Virtual Services, who provides virtual assistance and social media support for small to medium-sized businesses. Email Deborah Parker at deborahparker.va@gmail.com for more information. To become a sponsor or advertiser on our program, email us at mediarelations@sheddingthebitch.com. Shedding the Bitch Radio airs every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Be sure to go to blogtalkradio.com/sheddingthebitchradio and follow the program for all of the updates and announcements of our guests and show topics. Now let's return to Bernadette and Shedding the Bitch Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking regrets today. Aren't you excited? Just the one subject you wanted to be talking about today. But I do, because I think regrets have a really strong hold on many of us. But what are they? What really is regret? So we're going to look at multiple definitions of it that I've found, and that I found also very poignant. I'll use that word, poignant, because if you break it down and you then look at what regret is, many of us might say to ourselves, damn, I'm not looking to feel that way. I'm not looking to carry that burden. I'm not looking to live in that space. So I want to kind of want to shake us. I want to shake you. I want to shake you to the point where you say, ugh, that just doesn't feel good to me. And why would I want to why would I want to live in a space that doesn't feel good to me? All right? So the first one is pretty basic, and it was kind of scattered in multiple places online. Regret. Feel sad, repentant, or disappointed over something that has happened or has been done to you, especially a loss or missed opportunity. Now, there were some other emotions under there of what regret can create, because I don't believe it's just sadness or repentance or disappointment. I experience, even through my clients, anger, bitterness, self-hate or loathing, insecurity, fear, and there's many other emotions that are triggered when someone is holding on to a regret and they reflect on it and spend time with it, so to speak. Now, Wikipedia actually is what I kind of found myself drawn to, because then I really wanted to break it down. And I'm that type of person. I'll read something and I'll pick out like really key words or phrases or meanings of what is being said, and this could be done fictionally or non-fictionally in my world. And then I just kind of want to spend time with it and really reflect on it. And I think it's important that we do that, because that's when we all of a sudden learn, and we kind of glean some insights from not just, spoken words, but written words and meanings and beliefs. So Wikipedia, regret is a negative, conscious, and emotional reaction to one's personal decision-making, a choice resulting in action or inaction. Regret is related to perceived opportunity. Its intensity varies over time after the decision in regard to action versus inaction, and in regard to self-control at a particular age. Then it does go on to say, the self-recrimination which comes with regret is thought to spur corrective action and adaptation. All right, so we're going to break this down, because I loved parts of it, had an aha moment with another part of it, and then disagreed a great deal with another, the end part of it. So personal decision-making, I thought, was very key, because that is where regrets come from, is obviously experiences that we've had, events that have occurred, and how we chose to respond and react to it. And maybe it is an opportunity that we then had a decision to make, and whether or not that decision was right or wrong, but in regret, we feel that we didn't make the right decision. So personal decision-making plays a huge part. And think about it. If you did really address that question that we asked at the top, our rich question, what are the 1 to 3, you might be able to fill up a page. If you went from your childhood to, because I can go back, and I did. I kind of made a list, and I'm not, many of you who listen to me know, I don't hide much. I haven't revealed 100% of me to you yet, and that could take however long of life. But at the same time, I don't hide from some things that people would be like, wow, I can't believe she shared that. But I will tell you right now, I've shared a layer of it, and it may be a deep layer, but they're layers. So let's see. I could go all the way back to my early childhood, and I then scan forward, and there's a number of assaults, I'll call them, minor and more serious ones, from when I was younger to into adulthood. I certainly have had business decisions, more so post-corporate. Not to say that my bitch years, that my whole world of shedding the bitch is based on, but there's some things, some decisions I have made in regards to business. My franchise that I originally had when I left corporate in 2008 to 2010. My 401k decisions I made because of my business. I have had loss of friends that certainly, and if you think about these things and how they relate to you, that you don't get an opportunity to say goodbye, or you left things in an ugly place, and then all of a sudden they're gone. That type of thing. Then there's personal ones, things that weren't addressed and weren't confronted and weren't closed, that then kind of manifest themselves into things like drinking, into being promiscuous, and not really kind of, honoring myself physically, eating, and that could be overeating or undereating, and then then project out, which I had done for a bit when it came to working out, to the point of, I spent a couple years working out almost 3 times a day, wanting to kind of change myself physically, and thinking that it was going to change myself emotionally and mentally. Then there's, those perceived opportunities, what we thought, were great opportunities that, and in this case me, that I did or didn't make the right decision on. Now, I have to share with you, as a result of sharing those things, I don't live in regret. And many of you might have, if you've listened to the program before, have heard this before. I don't have regrets. And I'll try to, as we go into this discussion, I'll try to explain to you how that feels and how that is, because I get challenged on it. And that's actually why I decided to have this conversation today, because with Lent and with the past couple of weeks, I've gotten into these conversations, and this subject about regret came up. And when I kind of threw out to this person, that I don't, or actually it was 2 or 3 people, that I don't have regrets. And they just looked at me like I was arrogant, being arrogant about it, being vain. Things that, considering the people that they were, fortunately they weren't my closest of friends, but they were close enough to my circle, so to speak. And I was actually surprised that they didn't even know this about me. Then I listed out kind of some things that could cause someone to think that I would regret those things. I don't regret any of the things that have happened to me. I look back and I look at those sexual assaults. I look at those business decisions, those loss of people that I didn't get to kind of have closure with, those dealings of over drinking, over sexing, overeating, overworking out. I don't look at those things as regrets. I don't wallow in them. I just don't regret them. I don't feel sad. I don't feel repentance. I don't, what are the parts of those definitions? I just see it as something, incidences, events, experiences, emotions that I had to go through to be the person I am today. Call it because of my faith, my spiritual beliefs, my values. I don't know. I just know that every one of those experiences, good, bad, absolutely horrific, hard, yet some joyful, some. I just don't carry a regret about them. I don't carry those definitions of regret toward any of those things because it has made me the person I am today, who I will tell you right off the bat, just like I did around you not fully disclosing to you who I am at my core. I am also still flawed. Every one of us are flawed in our own ways, and I don't regret that. I just accept that because if I had perfection, I still think that there's room to make mistakes and therefore to have failures and therefore to have missteps and lack of success and what people might deem as regrets. And I just won't spend time in that space because I feel that if I do, then I won't take the risks and I won't do the things that I want to be doing. But that certainly, and we'll talk about this in a second, that certainly doesn't mean I don't have impacts. And so I wanted to talk about impacts. That one statement in that definition that I don't agree with, it says that regret, let me just go back to it for a second. It says the self-recrimination which comes with regret is thought to spur corrective action and adaptation. And I can only tell you from experiences through family, friends, clients, acquaintances, I find that to be absolutely wrong. Sure, do many people take action? Absolutely. I don't agree with the fact that it spurs corrective action and adaptation because it doesn't. Regrets don't. They can often cause people to be paralyzed in their fear, in their insecurity, in their self-blame, in their self-loathing, in all those negatives, all those bitches that we talk about. It can absolutely create inaction. Can it spur corrective actions and adaptation? Absolutely. And I kind of almost want to go into Wikipedia and kind of, can it? Yes, it can. But it doesn't, it's not, a straight line. It's not absolute because the impacts to many people are just the opposite. And I will say that there are things that have happened in my life that have caused inaction, that have caused me to be stuck, obviously, that have caused me to also be paralyzed. So I'm not saying that because I don't live with regret that I don't deal with those impacts. I just don't see them as consequences to things that have happened to me. It's just a matter of identifying and figuring out what they are and moving forward. And, of course, we're going to get into all of that. Now, in an article I read, it was written by Emma Freud in The Guardian. It's the online The Guardian. She actually kind of also, I won't say defined it, but she added some context around her own thoughts on regret as deep sorrow about something you did or something you failed to do. Deep sorrow, that got to me because that just makes me sad. I mean, obviously that's what sorrow is. But when I even read it, I just kind of, like my gut fell to the floor. I just kind of was like, that's such a heavy, 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 burden to carry around. Another reason why I just, I really want to help you to kind of not, because that just feels exhausting. So what I want to be doing is I want to be kind of jolting all of us to be thinking about what are the value or the benefits of your regrets? Honestly, because if we're holding on to them, if you're holding on to them, if you're carrying them with you, if you're living in that sorrow, then there's obviously value and benefit it's giving to you. So we need to, what I'd like to help you with is to say, what are those values, the benefits? Now, you might be looking, kind of rolling your eyes and going, Bernadette, what the hell? I don't find my regrets valuable or beneficial. Well, obviously you do. So let's get to know them. Let's put some context around that. Let's put some self-awareness on them, because maybe that's what kind of jolts you to say to yourself, you know what? I want to get to the point where I don't give them power, as many will call it. And it is. It's power. When we are holding on to things and, having them kind of either take up space or constrain us or to, even cause us to be stuck, we are giving them power. And therefore, what can you do to recognize what you consider valuable or beneficial? And let me give you some realities or some examples. Is a lot of people carry forward things that have happened to them, while they were young, carry them forward while they're I'm sorry, my medicine's kicking in. Even from generations ago, just think about it. We know that there's religious, cultural, racial, political things that are carried forward through generations. And therefore, there's, value and benefit that those generations feel comes from it. And yet those values and benefits may actually be negative and not very beneficial, because they're still carrying around a lot of burden as a result of them. And so we want to kind of give that value and benefit, not life in any way, shape, or form, but we want to give them names, and we want to kind of give them reality and understanding and self-awareness. So then we can really determine whether or not we want to keep those values and benefits in our lives, because they're not serving you real benefit and real value. All right, I hope that makes sense. So that's what we're going to talk about when we get back, but I want you to continue thinking about your 1 to 3 regrets and putting kind of some context around them. And when we get back, we'll dive into really looking at what you could be doing to bring these regrets forward and actually letting them go. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Boas. We are inspiring individuals around the globe to discover, confront, and shed their bitches of fear, insecurity, and negativity so they can create the riches in their career, business, and life they deserve. Be sure to check out Bernadette's book, Shedding the Corporate Bitch, Shifting from Bitch to Rich in Life and Business, available on Amazon and sheddingthebitch.com. We also want to thank our sponsors, North Georgia Tax Solutions, who offers a broad range of tax services for small to corporate-sized clients. Go to ngtaxsolutions.com to learn more. And Parker House Virtual Services, who provides virtual assistance and social media support for small to medium-sized businesses. Email Deborah Parker at deborahparker.va@gmail.com for more information. To become a sponsor or advertiser on our program, email us at media relations at sheddingthebitch.com. Shedding the Bitch Radio airs every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Be sure to go to blogtalkradio.com/Shedding the Bitch Radio and follow the program for all of the updates and announcements of our guests and show topics. Now let's return to Bernadette and Shedding the Bitch Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking regrets today and how to let them go. And we had you thinking about your rich question being, what are your 1 to 3 regrets? So as you're thinking about those, I also want you to be thinking about how they kind of make you feel, so to speak. Because then, as we went into commercial, we were talking about, what are the values and benefits of your regrets? And if you're kind of balking at that, just think about the fact that if you're holding on to regret, there has to be value and benefit you're finding. Maybe it's they keep you safe from the pain that would come if you were to really live in them, live in that regret, live in those, and be very self-aware and honest with yourself about it. Maybe it makes it easier to deal with life. But think about your value and benefits of your regrets, why you haven't confronted them, why you haven't shed them, and be okay with the fact that you're putting the term value and benefits to them, because they're obviously serving you in some way, shape, or form, or you would be able to let them go. And that's okay. No one's judging. We just want to be honest with ourselves about them. Now, I did come across this quote from Fulton Alsler that, again, hit me in the gut. It was almost, when I heard the acronym that I often share with you around fear, being false evidence appearing real. Fear, false evidence appearing real. That just kind of hit me in the gut because I thought, shit, if you think of any of the things that you're scared of, you know what? And then you live through them and you wake up the next morning going, oh, that wasn't as bad as it was. I thought it was going to be, or, oh, it actually worked out. You realize how true that is, false evidence appearing real. So this quote from Fulton Alsler is, we crucify ourselves between 2 thieves, regret for yesterday and fear of tomorrow. Regret for yesterday and fear of tomorrow. What I really loved about that whole thing was we crucify ourselves between 2 thieves. Now, being a writer and actually spending a lot of time recently with my script writing coach, we're talking about the power of words and coming up with really key words to enrich storytelling. So when I read this, it hit me in the gut. But that it is, kind of very powerful. Regret for yesterday and fear of tomorrow are stealing our lives, are stealing our present right now in this moment. And that's what we really want to get to, is how do we let yesterday go, stop thinking and worrying and predicting what's going to happen tomorrow, and just living right now. And the question that I would have for you, beyond your rich question, is, do you really want to live that way? Do you really want to live with the deep sorrow and the repentance of yesterday, and then with that false evidence appearing real that you're consuming yourself with about tomorrow, as opposed to really trying to figure out how do we live right now, right at this very moment? I was watching The View this morning, so everything was all of a sudden coming together. So then I'm watching The View this morning. Don't, judge me. And Priyanka Chopra Jonas, you all know her. She was on there this morning. It's one thing that she's a beautiful woman from India with, kind of that Indian Buddha type of spiritual nature. But she had a number of really key beliefs that she has, but the way that she put them were so poignant. And this one thing that she, said very nonchalantly, also even to the group there, held a lot of weight for them and for me. And she basically said, and I'm not quoting, but she basically said a key learning for her in life, especially recently, is around evolution of individuals, always growing and transforming. And she went on to say, we have to keep evolving or we'll be left behind. Because, and then, what's her name? Joy Behar, I think her name is. She came on to say, or continue to say, it's absolutely true. I mean, the world's going to, the world continues to move and change and grow and evolve. And if we don't, then where does that leave us as individuals? And I thought to myself, geez, that's very simple but profound. And that's what regret also prevents us from doing, is evolving and growing and transforming. So it just really depends for you as to what it is that you want to do and how do you want to live and what choice do you want to make around whether or not you're going to live in the regret of yesterday, the fear of tomorrow, or do it right, live right now. So here are some things I want to provide you to think about and consider in kind of getting your hands around your own regrets. And yes, I'm going to say things like, I want you to list them out. Again, getting them out of your head, putting them in black and white brings a lot of logic to these discussions. And everything that we deal with when it comes to what goes on between our ears and then our heart has to get down to logic if we want to really change, transform, and shift, all right? But I first want you to start with yourself. I want you to forgive yourself for whatever it is you're holding on to, for whatever it is you're regretting, for whatever it is you feel sorrow or sadness or fear or insecurity about that has happened to you in the past, whether it was when you're young or whether it was yesterday. Just forgive yourself for feeling that way because we all do at some point in time. And again, like the adage always says, it's how we respond and react to it will depend on what we learn from it and how we grow from it or whether or not we stay stuck from it. So simply forgive yourself. And then I want you to be thinking about almost like the 12-step program. And know before anybody, especially those that know me personally, get worried. I've never been through this 12-step program. I do not have any addiction problems. I have other problems, not addiction. But I've done, kind of research on this over the years because it's very relatable. And their step 8 in the 12-step program talks about seeking forgiveness. And so apart from forgiving yourself, a lot of weight goes into you needing to possibly forgive other people in order for you to move on and move forward. So if you have to kind of make that list of situations, events, experiences, or circumstances, or lack of decisions, or the decisions you have made, make that list. If it's 2 lines, great. If it's 3 pages, all right. You have a place to start and go through it and kind of decide, excuse me, what and whom you need to forgive. And then similar to what they talk about in that step 8, 12-step program, but for the step 8 of seeking forgiveness, find that process for you that works to go through that. And if it is walking up to somebody and forgiving them, then that's what you do. And then you want to really look at your blessings and lessons. What have you learned from it? What have you gained from it? What experiences have you gained from it? So that's what I want you to first forgive yourself, forgive other people if need be, forgive any circumstances, events that have happened to you. Ask yourself, how did you respond or react to that situation, which created the regret? Now, those of you listening live real quick, you might get disconnected. If you're not listening live, then this doesn't pertain to you at all, and we will be splicing some things together. And then I'll have to look at what Blog Talk's doing to me right now. So then I want you to ask yourself, how did you respond or react to that situation which created the regret? I want you to really just get a good idea and a good feeling for whether or not, you truly understand the impact that regret has had on you emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, in all aspects of your world, so to speak. All right? Excuse me. So I want you to be considering that. Now, one thing I've always done for myself and with my clients and friends, and it's in my queue for one of my next books. It's called Blessings and Lessons, because I truly believe everything that happens to us every moment of every day bring both blessings and lessons. And I want you to think about that. What blessings did this regret or did this situation, experience, event have on me? And what lessons have I learned from it? Because keep in mind, again, and the reason why I don't hold a lot of regret or any regret is I believe every situation, good, bad, and indifferent, there's blessings that come out of it because it's made me who I am today. There's lessons that I can learn from all of those things, and that makes me a better, enriched, and transformed person, evolved person. So what are those blessings and lessons that you can gain and garner out of those regrets that you've identified for yourself? And then one big thing that I found with myself, because I do this regularly now. I wish I did, prior to 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been the bitch that I was. But that's not a regret. That's just the reality. That is also, is there a pattern that has been created in your world as a result of that experience or event or circumstance that you have that regret manifested from? Has a pattern kind of occurred as a result of it? I realized and was able to identify patterns in the intimate relationships that I had with men, the type of men that I attracted, the type of persons they were, the type of relationship, engagement, equality, communication that we had or didn't have. And I realized that there was a lot of patterns in my world. So what patterns can you identify from those regrets that you're holding on to? And this is an area that you really have to dissect in, because you might say, oh, I don't have a pattern. I don't have a type. But I'll just kind of say you might just have one. You might just realize that, yes, as a result of things that have happened in your world, you've created these patterns of decision-making, these patterns of experiences, of situations you put yourself in, of decisions that you make, in a number of ways. And just be honest. Again, no judgment at all. Then I want you to be really thinking about befriending that regret, being okay with it. All right, so that's happened to me. All right, so I've allowed it to do X, Y, and Z to me. All right, I'm still holding on to it. All right, give it a picture, give it a name. Kind of make it animated so it kind of looks silly. It's almost like that acronym of fear, false evidence appearing real. I mean, when you think about it, that's ludicrous. Fear is ludicrous. When you think about it, spending time wallowing or fearful of not opening up your mail or not answering the door or not going out on that date or not making that business decision or taking on that client or moving across the country because of whatever it's creating within you. Think about how ridiculous that is, because You've overcome and experienced so many things in your world already, and they've worked out perfectly fine. Not to say they were easy, not to say they weren't painful, not to say there wasn't sacrifice or compromise, but you're still breathing. You're still above ground, so you're still surviving. The question is, are you thriving? And that's really what we're getting to. So befriend whatever that is. Befriend that regret. Befriend that fear, that insecurity, that doubt, that negativity. And, animate it to make it kind of look powerless to you. And then go burn your bra, I call it. Go, how, one, if you, go to those, my medicine is definitely kicking in. You go to a bonfire, and it's a drunken fest, or it's just a party. And all of a sudden the girls start getting loose and they start taking off their bras underneath their shirts and throw them in the bonfire. You burn your bra. They did it in the 60s, the 70s. How women, when they break up with a guy and they want to get rid of all their personal effects, and they throw them in a trash can and, they burn them, or they throw them outside, or they throw them in a dumpster and they burn them. You tear up all their love letters, throw them in a can and set it on fire. Do the same in whatever way that you want to manifest that, and be able to, kind of get rid of and let go of that regret. Do it in a positive way. I'm not looking for you to do it in a bottle of wine or, whatnot. I want you to do it in a more celebratory, releasing, liberating way. And that's why Burn Your Bra is so relevant for me. And then I want you to change your perspectives around it. How do you perceive that regret? How do you perceive yourself? It's all about shift, transformation, and evolving. And the way you're going to let go of those bitches, those regrets, is changing the perception on you. And trust me when I say, as you go through this process and as you are learning about yourself, even before you're letting go of things, you're going to be changing your perspective of yourself. You're going to be lifted up. You're going to be finding yourself more free and more happy and more evolved and more appreciative of who you are and the things that you've gone through, good, bad, or indifferent. And you might find yourself at a place where you're not second-guessing. You're not living in fear, holding yourself back, or keeping yourself from really letting those things that have happened to you control you, have power over you, keep you where you are today versus where you want to be. Because we want to let go of the past and not worry about the future. We want to be right here, right now. All right, make sense? Because, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be living in deep sorrow. I don't want to feel that I'm crucifying myself between two thieves, the regret for yesterday and the fear of tomorrow. I want you and myself and everyone to thrive, not just survive. I am so glad you hung out with us today. And if you want to, you can share your regrets on Facebook or Twitter on our Shedding the Bitch pages. And I'll look forward to having you right back here next Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Boas. Join Bernadette every Tuesday at noon Eastern as she helps you shift your bitches to riches. And the dialogue is always going on at sheddingthebitch.com. See you next week.
It's no secret that conserving energy can save your business money. But that's not the only benefit. Using the right energy-efficient equipment can also have some other surprising advantages. And Georgia Power's Commercial Energy Efficiency Program can help show you how. Like how improvements to your heating and cooling system can lead to a more comfortable work environment. Or LED lighting can make your store more inviting to customers. Just a few ways to take charge of your energy. Learn about programs and rebates today at georgiapower.com/commercial savings.